My mom had a great sense of humor. She was really funny. And I used to joke around with each other all the time. In fact, I remember one time coming home from class from high school and asking her, "Mom, what's for dinner?" And she said, "Meatloaf." And she and I both knew she made a really good meatloaf, but at the same time I figured, well, here's a chance to mess with her a little bit. So I said, "Oh, Mom, really, meatloaf? Your meatloaf's not that good." To which she immediately replied, "Yeah, I know, but I made a lot of it." And that story comes to mind quite a bit at work because it's really a value proposition. We're constantly trying to figure out how do we demonstrate and communicate the value of the products and the services that we offer to our customers. And if you're new to the marketing discipline, if you haven't found this out already, you probably soon will, that that's not only true for the products and the services that you market, but for you as an individual contributor, as a marketing professional. I mean, at most of the places where I've worked, marketing is considered part of a cost center. So you're constantly having to demonstrate the value that you and the marketing function provide to the company. But don't worry, because in today's Nuggets, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can demonstrate the value that you provide to your company. Check it out. As a marketing professional, a big part of your job is going to be demonstrating the value that you provide. And I don't just mean the quantitative results from the plans and the campaigns and the programs that you'll be managing. But in fact, I'd go so far as to say that at times, you're going to have to justify your very existence in ways that other employees of the company would never have to do. And it won't always seem fair, but it's a reality of the job. In my experience, there are 3 main ways, above and beyond the quantitative, that you can demonstrate your value to the company. The first way is to do the same for less. And what I mean is, if you're entirely proficient at your job, if you go into work tomorrow and you tell your boss that you'd like to do the same amount of work at the same level, but you'd like to be paid half as much of what you're currently making, then you'd suddenly be much more valuable to the company. Of course, just like with a product, reducing the price would increase its perceived value. But if the idea of reducing your salary isn't appealing to you, then you'll have to demonstrate your value in other ways. Another way to demonstrate value is when you can provide something that others can't. So if you have an applicable skill set or an ability that others don't, well, then you're valuable. My experience has shown me that there are a surprising number of fairly high-end companies out there with leadership that would be totally fine with their administrative assistants doing the bulk of the company's marketing. And the truth is, at the same time, there are plenty of marketing professionals who don't do it demonstrably different than an admin would. And that's not a knock on admins. If anything, it's a knock on a lot of marketing pros out there. But even if it's a quick, down and dirty flyer, if you do it like the admin would, you're not demonstrating value as a marketing professional. In fact, you're reinforcing the belief that pretty much anybody can do what you can do. Anyway, whether it's naming and branding, graphic design, or how to put together an effective PowerPoint, you have to do all your projects in higher level, uncommon ways in order to demonstrate your value. I mean, to an extent, you have to ask yourself, how would our admin do this project? And then whatever you do, don't do it like that. I mean, if you don't take that approach with all your marketing projects, you'll come across as an overpaid coordinator. And that's not good for you or our craft. And the final way to be valuable is to do what others won't do. Think of some of the jobs that are out there that you just wouldn't do, even if you had the skill set to do them. I bet most of the jobs you're thinking about are pretty high paying jobs. And that's because the willingness to do what others won't do makes you valuable. And as you progress in your career, you're going to learn how to do marketing at levels that are much higher than others. You're going to learn something on each and every project you work on. And over time, there's going to be a snowball effect. you're going to understand how to do better and better marketing, but in order to do better and better marketing, you have to be willing to stick your neck out just as much. Of course, here on Mustard, I'm going to share proven best practices with you, but even though they're proven, they are uncommon. In fact, some of them are going to seem counterintuitive at first, but they'll all be logical. They'll all make sense and you'll get it, but they're all real best practices. Come to think of it, that's what cracks me up when people talk about best practices, because they're usually not best practices, they're actually most common practices. I mean, the best by definition is uncommon, it's special and rare. And one thing I've learned over time is that great minds don't think alike, small ones do. Anyway, marketing for dummies isn't best practices, it's most common practices. But I digress. In order to demonstrate your value as a marketing professional, you have to have the courage and the willingness to implement highest level marketing programs and campaigns, ones that other marketing professionals might not do. And that's pretty much it for today's marketing nugget. If you want to demonstrate your value as a marketing professional above and beyond the quantitative, and don't worry, the qualitative will lead to the quantitative, then you have to do what others won't, do what others can't, or do the same for less. As always, if you like what you've seen and heard here, please subscribe. Tell a friend, like and share Mustard with non-marketers and new marketing professionals. And most importantly, don't forget to comment. Provide me with feedback, and if you have ideas on marketing topics to cover or how to make this channel even better, I'd love to know your thoughts. With that, thanks for watching today's Marketing Nugget, and I can't wait to hear from you.